One. And hello and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. A very different kind of episode for you everyone, episode 110. Matt's not here, we're in the post San Diego Comic-Con slump. Not a lot of news to cover, but that's not a bad thing because it's in situations like this I love to kind of, branch out, see what else is going on there on YouTube and kind of, use my Z-list internet celebrity to kind of get people whose channels and content I like and enjoy to come guest on the show, and that's what I'm doing today, everyone. I have a very special guest here in the Comic Multiverse offices, and by offices, I mean my office. There is no real office here. I wish, maybe one day. But it's DJ Accident Report, everyone, from the channel Nobody's Watching Wrestling. Maybe you haven't heard of them, but you should, because they're great.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh, pleasure. It was really nice to have you. I know for a lot of fans out here, and I was talking to Accident Report before we started, I know sometimes when we start talking about wrestling on the Comic Multiverse, a lot of you tune out. I get it, I understand, I promise there will be comic book stuff later on in the episode, but hey, you know what, maybe stick around for this part too, because you'll find a cool channel that you hadn't heard of before, and some content that you might like, because what I really like about what DJ Accident Report and the Nobodies do is that they have a very, very different approach to tackling wrestling content on the internet. I think that's something you guys do the best.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We get that a lot of like, oh, you guys have such a different perspective, and it's such a funny comment to me every time because it's like the only perspective I know is just like this is how I've always watched this kind of stuff, like with this attitude. So now I guess it's weird to confront people who watch it differently.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess for those who have never seen it before, what is Nobody's Watching Wrestling? What's your elevator pitch?
I jokingly wrote on Twitter yesterday that it's basically like Stadler and Waldorf, except in drag, reviewing pro wrestling. I am not a drag queen, but I review pro wrestling with my drag sisters, Ariel Italic and the Lady Barrica Andrews. It tends to have, our shows tend to have a focus on costuming, but we also talk about actual wrestling. And normally veer off into some kind of non sequitur surrealist nightmare humor that references mortality and David Lynch.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sounds about right. It's definitely what attracted me to the show. I found it quite interestingly. It was Takahata 101, one of the Team 4-Star guys. He retweeted your very first episode and was just raving about how great it was. And from his recommendation, I checked it out, and I've been hooked ever since. How long have you been at the YouTube thing?
We just did our second Backlash, so it's that was our 1 year anniversary of doing the show. It has been a fucking insane year. Oh, I didn't even ask if I could curse on this.
Oh, you can swear as much as you want on this show.
Great. Yeah, so it's been a really weird year because me and Ariel and Barrica as the Nobodies have been doing shows in New York for a total of 3 years. And like New York's got a lot of really fierce nightlife competition and we're all like a really loving community, but like if you have like a Friday night show or even a Monday night or Tuesday night show, like there's 10 other drag shows at the same time at any given night of the week. So we had really small audiences, maybe 3 or 4 people on a Monday night when we were doing these kind of weirdo surrealist shows. And along the way, our friend Jordan Olds, also known as Arsenio Hall from the comedy show 2 Minutes to Late Night, which you should also check out, he kind of was coming to our shows and was like, can I just film you guys talking about pro wrestling? Because that was something we all kind of had in common and liked as a bit of a side joke thing.
Right.
And we never thought it would be anything. We kind of thought Jordan would show up with an iPhone at his house and we'd put it on the YouTube channel and like a few people would laugh, and he showed up with a whole film crew. We put up the first kind of well-edited episode and like it immediately within 1 day got like 30,000 views. And now it's kind of our lives, and I don't know how this happened, and none of us planned this, and it was never something we ever thought would work or anyone would be interested in, but here we are.
Yeah, that actually answers another question I was going to have, and that is who handles the tech side of your operation? Because I gotta say, what really impressed me about the show is like, man, this is well shot and well edited content. I've been at the YouTube game for like 5 years, give or take, and I only think I've gotten good recently. I think most of my work sucks, but you guys came out of the gate swinging.
Yeah, we have to give a lot of credit to Jordan for that. He has a real vision for what our show was going to be and has really helped us with a lot of it. It's a lot of DIY though. Like honestly, it's really just like a crew of these like very sweet straight boys who all work in the film industry, and they're all these like tough tatted punk dudes, and they just know what they're doing.
I wish I had a crew of tough tatted punk dudes to help me out with this show. I keep saying I need an intern. I've been at this for so long.
Yeah, I feel that. We want to get a nobody's intern, but like what poor gay 20-year-old like wants to work on a show about wrestling? I don't know.
There's a college by where I live. I've often said I should go and grab an intern and be like, yeah, it's a media studies program. I will show you how to succeed at YouTube. The moral of the story is no one knows how to succeed at YouTube. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, it's pretty random. Unless you're like a generically attractive white boy who can like make kissy faces at teen girls, I guess.
And then you're set for life, and then you get to frickin' date the girl from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which pisses me off.
Oh wait, which girl? What?
Chloe Bennett dates that Logan Paul guy.
Oh, Chloe.
I know.
You could do better.
Doesn't that just hurt you? And apparently they've been dating for a while, too. And I'm like, oh.
She is very pretty, though.
She really is. And just genuinely seems like a cool person.
Well, not if she's dating that loser.
I know, right? That changes everything. I'm like, well, maybe this season should be your last season.
I gave up on that show like 3 seasons in when it was like, it seemed like every episode was like, what shadow organization is behind this shadow organization? And I was like, I don't even care anymore.
That show has such a weird trajectory, because literally every season, about around season 3 and on there, is completely different in tone and genre. They did a whole time travel season.
I didn't get that far.
Oh, they did. They did a whole time travel season. They did a whole season in virtual reality. They went to the far-flung future. Yeah, they did some shit later on in that show. Ghost Rider showed up, but like the new Hispanic Ghost Rider showed up.
No, really?
Yes, they went to some places there.
I found it pretty insufferable by the end of season 2.
It was rough to keep up there for a bit, but it's one of those shows I can say I'm glad I actually stuck with it.
Huh. Interesting. All right. Maybe I'll give it another try, but probably not. I have better things to do.
Here's the thing. It's very bingeable, and it's also one of those shows where you can have it on in the background and you don't have to be paying 100% attention.
Yeah, I do need more of those in my life. I've lately been watching a lot of Iron Chef Japan for that reason, where I'm like working on freelance stuff at home and then I just put it on in the background.
Solid. Yeah, I have a whole rotation of shows like that. I guess to bring the conversation back to wrestling.
Sure.
No problem. I mean, again, this show has no format. We can go wherever it is. I didn't even write questions. I'm just testing myself here.
Great, perfect.
I was gonna say, what are you liking in the world of wrestling right now? What's like really catching your eye?
So that's a good question. I am not keeping up with the G1. I did it last year, and I just I think I'm just busier with work stuff this year.
Rough. It's rough to keep up with.
It's so good too, which is unfortunate that I just I don't have the subscription, and searching for the torrents of it is a little bit difficult. So I'm not keeping up with that, although I wish I was. I have given up on Raw and SmackDown completely.
But really I do rough watch, right now.
Yeah, real garbage, real trash. I am very deeply invested in Lucha Underground. I am so sad that show doesn't get more love. I think they have one of the best rosters of any of it. I like how theatrical it is, and I'm also just obsessed with this new wrestler that they introduced. The wrestler is Sonny Kiss, but the character on Lucha Underground is named Exolicious.
That's right. Yes, I saw that. Yeah, Lucha Underground is great because it marries the soap operatics of wrestling really well with the actual sports entertainment stuff.
Totally, and it has the whole comic book fantasy feel where there's still a looming apocalypse in the background of this wrestling league. I just love it.
And characters are immortal, and characters come back from the dead, and people get eye patches.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And then I watch NXT religiously. I'm such a huge NXT fan.
It's the best.
And I watch a little bit of the 205, and whenever they do those network exclusive specials, the UK stuff, I really like. I think Pete Dunne is probably one of the best wrestlers in the world right now.
Super solid. And young too, which ticks me off. He's actually younger than me.
Yeah, a lot of these Velveteen's 22, Tyler's 21, a lot of these. I think Leo Rush is 23.
I could barely do anything at 22, and these guys are top of their field. How the hell did that happen?
I know. Weirdly, it's kind of the same thing in drag right now, where a lot of the big drag stars that are getting bigger are these 22-year-olds that are just kind of these weird prodigies. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm turning 30 in like a week, and like I can't drink any more than two
Yeah.
drinks anymore. So good for you guys, I guess.
Did again to pitch you a wrestling thing? I know your plate is full, but this one is very easily digestible, and I'm giving it a shout out because my friend is in it. Have you seen that thing Amazon is doing, Dojo Pro?
No, I haven't heard of this.
Basically, Amazon's like, hey, wrestling's hot again. We would like a piece of this pie, please. Let's commission 12 episodes of a tournament series where we'll basically grab a bunch of really cool indie guys and then either sell it to you in a lump sum or charge you $1.99 for the matches you want.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
It is. The very first episode has Kevin Clue versus friend of the show, Carrie Awful. And Carrie has a great gimmick. He's part of a tag team called the Carnies, and he is the dog-faced boy or dog-faced gremlins.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he comes out with like a mankind mask and like a desert scarf. He's got a really cool costume design. You would dig him.
That sounds amazing. Are there any women in it?
No, it's all dudes this season, but I get the feeling if they come back for a series 2, they'll probably include some women.
Cool, cool, cool. I obviously like men's wrestling, but I do care way more about women's wrestling.
It's an amazing time for it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know if it's mostly like the fashion and the looks of it, but there's just something really heartening about women's wrestling right now that I can't get enough of.
And so many strong characters too. Again, to bring it back to NXT, Shayna Baszler being an amazing villain, an amazing bully.
She's doing really great, huh? Yeah, I think a lot of people had doubts about her, but I really think she really has a great sense of her character. She's got the look down. I'm a big fan of hers. And I enjoy booing her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like the perfect kind of heel where like you have fun hating them instead of like you just hate them.
Yeah. It's so funny too when you learn about these people in their real life. You know what she apparently studied to do?
No, what?
She went to school, she studied sociology, she was going to be like either a social worker or a cult deprogrammer.
Oh my god.
I know.
She would be a scary cult deprogrammer.
I'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever, yeah, I renounce Xenu, whatever.
Yeah, sure, fine.
Just don't break my arm, ma'am.
Yeah, I think my favorite right now in NXT is Bianca Belair.
She's really
She reminds me of all the Brooklyn drag queens that I used to DJ parties for, and they would show up to the club at like 4 a.m. ready to vogue the house down, and I'm like, yes, here I am, ready for you.
Uses her hair as a weapon too. No one else is doing that.
I think some drag queens have done it before her, but she's making it work in a different arena.
It's great too because it's like, well, is it a foreign object? Is she technically cheating? I don't know.
Yeah, I love the confused looks on the ref's face every single time she does it. Like, I don't know if I should disqualify her right now.
Again, she's finding a workaround for the rules, and I think that's wonderful.
She's also just really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would be one thing if it was just all a gimmick, but she's actually really good, and like her promos are amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's also nice. Lacey Evans, there's another one. I kind of like her like retro pinup thing she's doing.
Yeah, I like wanted to dislike her because of like the strong anti-militaristic streak in me.
Agreed.
But like, she's just really fucking good.
And she takes adorable Instagram pictures with her daughter in Paris.
I've seen those. Yeah, and I think that giving her that the woman's right as her finisher is so fucking clever.
She's so good. I'm almost like, geez, Kairi Sane, you were this big acquisition. You better step up your game right now.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Kairi.
Me too.
I like her a lot. She kind of like, me and my friends always joke that she feels like a guest character from a different video game in NXT.
She really does.
Like, she sort of just doesn't match the aesthetic of that show at all.
No, she really doesn't, and it's almost like, they were afraid to pull the trigger on her so shortly after Asuka, where it's like, okay, well, maybe make her wait in the wings a little bit, and now bring her out, I don't know.
They did that with a lot of the Mae Young Classic girls, though, where they, like, kind of sat on them for a little.
Yeah. It's a really interesting time, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, one of my absolute favorite segments from the shows, Nobody's Watching Wrestling, is when you all sit together and you critique all the different ring gear and all the different looks of all the different wrestlers, past and present. I think you've done it for just about every company now, haven't you?
We haven't done Chikara. That's on the list. We've done. I don't think we've done Progress yet either. We'll get there. We're working on it. We're making our way through.
And the best part is there's always new people, so you can always double back and do volume
Yeah,
twos.
yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I thought it would be fun, because this is a comic book podcast, if we looked at some of what's going on in superhero costuming right now and kind of got your feedback on it. This I will tell you, as a comic fan and who's someone who this is their business, this is a really interesting time for comic books, because both Marvel and DC are kind of doing now what they've always done in every 5 to 8 years, and that is everything old is new again. And like,
Right.
they were trying crazy things and new costumes and new directions, and now both companies are like, reel it back in a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's also like an interesting time. I used to keep up with comics way more than I do, and it's an expensive hobby, as I'm
Hell
sure
yeah,
you
it
know.
is. Oh, it's a massive expense.
Yeah, and you know, you gotta stay on top of a lot of developments, and I kind of fell off because I don't find the movies very interesting either. However, I have noticed that like a lot of these young gay and female artists that these companies are hiring have a really great sense of fashion. So the designs of a lot of the costumings in both DC and Marvel have just gotten really, really good.
Oh yeah, the thing that even got me in the first place to want you to guest on the show, you know, outside just me being a fan of the show and wanting to talk to you, was you were talking about the now old Batgirl costume, which she had rocked for a couple years post
The
Burns.
Babtar one.
Yeah. She doesn't have that one anymore. She got a new one.
Oh, what's her new one?
We're gonna look at it here.
Oh, great. Okay.
It's here in this one. In fact, I've kind of put together like a little taster plate, as
Cool.
Anthony Bourdain would play, where we can actually track kind of the evolution that some of these characters went through. And again, if you look at this first one right here, I don't know if you have the file open or if
I do.
Okay, cool. This first one, this is what Catwoman is wearing right now, and this is brand new. This is right after her fake out wedding to Batman that happened just a couple months ago. She didn't keep the ring, but she got a new costume.
I love it. It's got like the perfect element of the Tim Burton Michelle Pfeiffer costume. It doesn't have the stitching, but it's kind of got the BDSM vibe. It looks like a latex, which I think is great. Nods to the old 90s characters with 90s retro coming back in. I think this is excellent. I wish she was in a heel, but that I understand is not practical for crime fighting or robbery.
It's funny, you know, they gave her a little skin, but they gave it in the pit area, to where I'm like, yeah, I guess that would allow for better movement, and also if you're an armpit fetishist.
Right. But it's like that's how fetish gear works, right? Because you need to have movement over your arms. I think it makes sense.
Yeah. The lady who designed this, Jolie Jones, she's the artist and she's also the writer of the new Catwoman book.
Oh wow, good for her.
Yeah, we're seeing a big explosion now of writer artists too.
I love these little like Lady Gaga half gloves with claws on her too.
You should check out the wedding dress too. I didn't get this in here, but they made a big deal about Selena Kyle's wedding dress for the wedding that, spoilers, didn't happen.
I'm Googling it right now.
It's pretty interesting. Again, they made a whole big deal about it where it's like, oh, this is the wedding dress all the comic nerds are going to be wearing.
Oh, I see it. You know, it's fine. It looks like a little oh, I like the little cat ears on the veil. That's cute. You know, it looks like who does Vera Wang does black wedding dresses right now, right? Someone like that. I don't know.
She stole it, of course.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Because why wouldn't she? All right, let's move on to the next one here. This is Captain America, but this is the Nick Spencer run Captain America when they were trying to reinvent everything.
Yeah, not a fan here. I'm not a huge Captain America fan in general. It looks like this is drawing a little bit too much from like the cinematic universe aesthetic, which I find to be tedious and banal. So I see why it would be functional as a superhero, but it's just not very interesting. There's kind of no real clever design elements to it. The utility belt, it just looks a little like Burning Man almost. I don't know.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, we eventually found out this guy who we followed for like 2 years wasn't even Steve Rogers. He was actually an evil double.
Sure, obviously, why not?
This was part of a story called Secret Empire that Spencer wrote, which is terrifying to go back and read now because it was about an evil Captain America slipping into the place of the good Captain America and slowly but surely turning America more fascist over time.
Well, that seems political, I guess.
Oh, it was super political. Here's the thing. Evil Captain America got sworn in as the new head of S.H.I.E.L.D. like a couple days after the newest president got sworn in.
Oh, and he's like fascist Captain America?
Yes.
Right.
In fact, hey, if we move along a little bit, we got, another look of the costume, which again you talked about. But the third one, you actually get to see fascist Hydra Captain America in his military regalia.
You know, this is like a really smart design choice. Obviously, green is not my favorite color. I feel like Michelle Visage when I say that, but it's got the kind of Hugo Boss elements of like actual Nazi uniforms, which
as we know, Hugo Boss, who they were making uniforms for.
Right, exactly. So I think it gets the idea right. The color palette is disgusting, but maybe purposefully so.
It's Hydra; they always have disgusting colors.
Is green Hydra's color? I thought they were doing a black and red.
In the movies they are, but in the comics when they were just, like, again, to borrow a wrestling term, jobber villains, it was always green and yellow.
Oh, okay, interesting.
They made it red in the movies to be more in line with Red Skull.
Got it.
Now, a funny thing about this, too, him actually choosing to put on this uniform was a big part of that story, because before he was just parading around in the Captain America suit with his whole deluded, like, oh, sure, you hate me now for what I'm doing and taking over America, but soon you'll thank me for it. And then they're like, nah, you're the villain now. So he put down the stars and stripe, and he's like, fine, if I'm going to be a villain, I'm just going to wear this now.
Who's his enemy right now?
He's back to normal now.
Oh, okay. Well, who was his enemy during this arc?
The entire superhero community. He for 2 years planned to take over the United States, and we saw in intricate detail how he did it.
All right, well, sure, I guess that did happen in real life.
It did, right? And that's the thing too, so many comic fans rejected that. They're like, I don't like this, and I'm like, why? Because it's hitting so close to home right now.
You know, I really liked that. I didn't see the movie because I don't like the movies, but I did like the original Civil War run because it was very political during like the Bush era. And I remember similarly there was a lot of fans being like, keep politics out of my comics, and I'm like, go fuck yourself.
I hear that so much, and that's absolutely what I said, and it's very clear that Nick Spencer was going for a modern day Civil War. It's just, Twitter's a thing now, so people yelled way more about it, and they got him back to being normal. But hey, on the upside, a black man is writing Captain America now.
Oh, really? Oh, I think I knew that. It's someone, who is it?
Ta-Nehisi Coates, the writer from The Atlantic.
Yeah, he's great. He's amazing.
His run's pretty solid. He was doing great things with Black Panther, and now he's writing Cap. His run's only an issue in right now.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll go pick that up. Except I just don't care about Captain America.
It's a wonderful fresh start, and it's also picking up like from the ashes of this, where like Captain America's got to go around and like basically be on apology tour for America. Hey, sorry that guy with my face took everything over, guys.
Makes sense.
Now, from Captain America, we head on over to the next one, which is Superman. And Superman, over the last 5 years, has gone through a ton of like really minor reinventions to eventually come to where he is now, to looking like he always has. This was him at the beginning of the DC Rebirth era, where they nixed the red boots, got rid of the red underwear, but gave him a red belt.
I kind of like it.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, I like the black and blue contrast is nice. The subtle detail on the boot is nice. The belt is nice. I think it's pretty good. The cape looks like a kind of a leather plastic material, which I think is a cool twist.
In this shot, it does. I think this is more of like a proof of concept. In the next one here, we get more of like, an iconic look at it.
Oh, okay. So there it is. It's just a cape. Got it. Okay, well, whatever. It still looks fine to me. I'm fine with this.
Now this one here was a further evolution they did like a year and a half later. The red boots are back. He's got a yellow little belt buckle thing going on now.
Yeah, this is fine too. I mean, it's Superman. You can't fuck with it too much.
No, you really can't. And as it stands right now, he just has the trunks again now.
Oh, okay. Well, whatever.
So fine. It was just kind of like a long, big circle to like, and I'm wearing what I always wear.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think if someone showed me this image and asked me to critique it, I don't even think I would have noticed the change in the trunk. So I guess it really just it looks pretty classic to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good run and a good time. It's funny, Superman and Batman are kind of were in an arms race to, okay, who's going to put the trunks back on first. Superman did it first. Batman will be putting them back on in a couple months.
Ah, well, there you go.
They've already shown the artwork where it's like, and the trunks are back. Now, from here we have the female Wolverine X-23.
One of my favorite characters in like all of comic books. I love this. I do prefer Goth X-23 in kind of just like a shredded tank and black jeans. I loved the X-23 in that 90s X-Men high school series.
Oh, X-Men Evolution was my favorite. That's where she came from. She wasn't created in the comics. She was created in that show.
Yeah, and I love that character. I love those kinds of like I loved like Goth Rogue in that too. They gave a few characters, and Goth Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
they really knew how to like dress those characters to hit on like a kind of cultural moment. And then I remember they put X-23 as a playable character in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I liked her outfit in that. But I like this a lot too. I mean, I like that she was the new. I picked up the first issue of her as the new Wolverine, and I meant to keep up with it and just fell off. But I like this.
Let me tell you this: it was an excellent run under Tom Taylor, and if you like shredded tank top jeans, she's back wearing that now.
Oh, great, wonderful.
So she comes back. In fact, I'm surprised I didn't get a picture of that in because like issue 2 came out not too long ago, so it's still very early in the run.
Yeah, I'm so curious because I don't watch any of the movies. And I heard she was in that Logan movie as a character, but they got rid of her whole storyline that she's a sex worker, which is like part of the most interesting part of her character.
Well, that little girl he's riding around with, all like Lone Wolf and Cub, Last of Us. Yeah, that's Laura. That's X-23.
Right. But like she's not a sex worker or brainwashed or anything. Not interested. No thanks.
Yeah, they didn't do that part there. Now again, it's funny, she was only Wolverine for what seems like a short amount of time. It was 3 years. That's fairly long in comics. But she went through quite a few costume reinventions. She had this one, which is the classic yellow and blue, which I think it looks better on her than it looks on Logan, actually. Then she had this kind of white and black, like Weapon X-Force.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, she rocked this one for a little bit.
I just love this. I think it's wonderful. Yep, nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah, lot more savage, again, very X-Force-y. And then the last costume she had before she went back to the standard jeans, this is what she was wearing on X-Men Red, where it's more solid yellow.
Yeah, it's a good throwback to the kind of 90s Wolverine look. I like the exaggerated, like, kind of luchador mask almost on her.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
She had a lot of good costumes. It's funny, she basically ran the gambit of all of like Logan's costumes in a short amount of time.
Yeah, so what's happening with her right now?
Basically, they haven't really explained it yet. It's just like, okay, so like Wolverine died and actually stayed dead for a very long amount of time. Not because of any real story thing, but because Marvel Comics and Fox, the studio, were in a dick measuring contest.
Got it.
And they're like, okay, fine then, we're not going to promote characters we don't own, so we're gonna put the X-Men in the background for a little bit, and we're gonna kill Wolverine off and keep him dead. He's coming back now, although she doesn't know that yet, but just out of the blue, she's like, yeah, I'm not gonna wear the costume anymore. I'm gonna go back to wearing my old stuff.
Got it. Is she like fighting anyone right now? What's her gig?
Yeah, actually, she is. There's a new story forming right now in the X-23 book that's quite interesting. Obviously, Laura is a clone, and she's gotten, embroiled in this whole scheme by a couple of the Stepford Cuckoos, who are clones of Emma Frost.
Yep.
And there's a couple more clone characters, so basically just all these Marvel clones are getting involved in this one story, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of smart.
That's kind of cool. I'm into that.
It's also funny, the Spider-Man clone, Ben Reilly, is back now, so don't be shocked if he shows up in that story.
Spider-Man never did it for me, so I don't really know anything about that storyline.
You're not missing anything with Ben Reilly. People hated him for years, and now he's out of the blue back.
Well, all right.
There you go. But yeah, so X-23, we can both agree, damn fine looking costumes.
For sure.
Now, this over here is Dazzler. What do you know about Dazzler?
Oh, she's like a pop star, right?
Yes, she is. She is a disco queen invented in the 70s to try and cash in on the disco craze. Yeah.
I think that's a fun gimmick. This outfit's a little rent-a-center superhero costume.
It's a little Captain Marvel-y. For a second, I thought it was Captain Marvel. Then I'm
Yeah,
like, oh.
I thought it was too.
But yes, this is what she's rocking right now, and this is kind of them trying to pull it back, because when Bendis was writing the book, he went really hard in the other direction of like, oh, disco's dead, no one likes disco anymore. I'm gonna make her a riot girl.
Is this next picture?
Yep.
Oh, I love this.
Man, I'm glad you like it. You would have been so sad how they put it in. Basically, she was captured by Mystique for a bit, was feeling down, then she's like, oh, I'm going to give myself an emotional makeover in the mirror.
I love an emotional makeover in a mirror scene. Are you kidding?
Oh, but again, let me finish. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put this eye makeup on. She does it. Then none of the X-Men talk about it, and they don't even, recognize that she's done anything.
Oh my, so they just, continue on like nothing had happened?
Again, to borrow a wrestling term, they sandbag this change.
Right.
And continue to sandbag it for the rest of Bendis's run, because that's kind of what writer he is, where it's like, I'm going to change Dazzler's look. I'm going to do this now. He starts an idea, he never finishes it.
I mean, it's frustrating because it's like, this doesn't even match the character at all. Like, I think this is a great look, and if someone showed up to a party in this look, I'd be like, work. But, this is just not that character.
No, it should have been for someone else, because it's a good design.
Yeah, it's a great design. It just is, it's someone else. It's not Dazzler.
Yeah. But yeah, so there's Dazzler. I thought you might get a kick out of
I like her little turtleneck. That's a cute detail.
Yeah. I'm watching Orange is the New Black right now, and one of the skinhead characters walks around with a sleeveless turtleneck that she stole. I'm like, oh yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Looks.
Absolutely. Now, next up we have, here's a fun one. So, Tony Stark died for a little bit. He didn't. He was in a coma, again, soap operas.
Got it.
But Doctor Doom took over as Iron Man, and he became the superior Iron Man, and this was his costume.
Oh, I hate this.
Really? Do tell.
I think this is garbage. It's just, I don't know, it just looks like from the movies. Like, there's no kind of creative design elements to it. It's just like, here's some armor and, metal. I don't see anything unique about it. I guess the pairing of it with a big black cape is kind of cool, but, the color palette's not interesting. There's nothing unique about it. It just looks like, like you pressed triangle when you were on the character select
and got an alt
instead
skin.
of square.
Well, how do you feel about the traditional Doctor Doom costume with the little man skirt and the hood and everything, looking like?
Let me pull it up. I can't remember it from the top of my head.
He looks like heavy metal death.
Hold on, Doctor Doom. Oh, it's like a little green tunic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's from a different time. It doesn't work anymore. You can't dress a character like that anymore.
Yeah, he kept it for a long time.
Yeah. It is what it is. I don't know. It looks outdated to me.
All right, fair enough. I guess moving on there to the Super Sons, which is Robin, Damian Wayne, and John Kent the Superboy.
I don't know anything about Superboy, but I do love Damian Wayne as a character.
Me too.
I have been eyeing a pair of the Damian Wayne forest green with red lace Doc Martens for a long time. I don't love this iteration of Damian. It's a little busy. It's got a lot of elements on it.
They made him much bulkier. He was always much more ninja-like.
Yeah. The color palette's cool because it is a little Robin-ish, but it mixes the black and yellow of Batman. But this just has way too much going on. It almost just needs to be like a onesie, and you can get rid of the whole red tunic part of it.
Yeah, Damien's one of those characters too that I don't think any writer or any artist has really drawn him consistently. They all kind of add their own little thing to it.
Yeah, he's had a lot of costume changes.
And he's not a very old character.
Yeah. And some of them are really great, and some of them are not really great. This Superboy is a fucking mess. This is awful.
So many people like him.
Really? I don't know. Maybe because he dresses like a comic book nerd.
Right.
He looks like he's wearing a hoodie he bought at Comic-Con.
It literally is a hoodie, is the thing.
Yeah, it doesn't look good to me, though. If I were to see a person out wearing that hoodie, I would be like, okay, cool, you go to Comic-Con.
Now, here's the funny thing. Everyone loves the hoodie. They do not sell that hoodie, so DC is leaving so much money on the table right now.
Ugh, awful. I do not enjoy it.
It's funny, this costume is kind of a throwback to a lot of stuff in Superman's history where it's like, well, yeah, when he started, In the newer continuity, he just wore a shirt with a Superman symbol and torn jeans and everything, so it's kind of like he's wearing what his father used to wear.
Right. No, I get that part of it, but it just is like, I don't know, could you make the hoodie a little cooler?
Yeah,
It's just like, like when they make the hoodies of superhero costumes to sell to
Absolutely.
people at Comic-Con.
I own several.
Right. Like, that is not a design choice I would make for myself. And it looks like he bought that instead of like an actual thing, you know?
He might be getting a new redesign, actually, because he's, like, getting older. He's, like, actually a character who we're getting to see age in real time, because he's only been around for about 2 years. There's been other Superboys, but this is the newest one.
They got to give him to, like, Babs is DC. They got to give him to Babs to redesign, because Babs would give him, like, a cool little hipster outfit she would make look actually cool.
This is Jorge Jimenez who did this one. In fact, I think if you go to his Instagram, he has, like, several iterations of the Superboy, and, like, this is what he finally came to.
I would bet Jorge is a straight man.
I have no idea, actually. I know very little about him.
I would put money on that from this outfit alone.
Well, there you go. Now, next up we have, oh man, his trailer got a lot of people interested. This is DCU era Aquaman, the first time they tried to make him more hardcore and make him look a little more like Jason Momoa. I think he looks a little homeless.
Yeah, what is this stubble situation?
Yeah.
Also blonde, so that's not going to look like a Samoan person.
No, but then again, Aquaman never was. They have this weird thing where it's like, well, we want to make comic Aquaman look like movie Aquaman, but that can't happen.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I think I would need to see the full outfit because this gets cut off at the waist. This chest plate is a little suspicious. I'm not sure what's happening here.
It's a little try-hard. Here's the thing. This one lasted such a short amount of time because everyone unanimously agreed we do not like this.
Right, yeah. I could tell why.
It ended very quickly. Now, from there, we move to where Aquaman is looking now these days. Basically the same costume he's always had, maybe some bigger fins, and he's grown a beard and grown his hair out.
I like this. I don't think this is bad at all.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. It's a nice splitting of the difference.
He's got, he kind of looks like a blonde Aryan Roman Reigns a little.
Oh my god, he does. Boo!
But this is good. This is fine. No
Yeah.
problems here.
The art on this new Aquaman book has been really, really solid.
Who's doing it?
Oh god, it's killing me.
I'm testing you right now. I'm sorry.
Oh god, he did Green Arrow for a while too. Fiara. No, he might have just done the covers. Someone will correct us in the comments section. This is the best part about working online. Now, from Aquaman, we move over to Adam Warlock. I know you don't watch the movies, but this guy's going to be the next big thing in Marvel Cosmic. He's the dude in the cocoon at the end of Guardians 2.
I have no idea what that means, but I like this outfit.
Yeah, see, I enjoy it too. A lot of people don't like it because it doesn't look like his old deal, because the thing is, Adam Warlock obviously created in a different time. He looked like Space Fabio when he was created.
Oh, okay. Well, then this is an interesting reinvention of that, huh?
Yeah, this is we got to try and tone him down a little bit for 2018. How would he look? And this is him when he was just starting, and then if we look...
Is this how he'll look in the movies?
Probably. That's probably why they redesigned it to get ahead of it. Because Marvel does that
good.
now. Yeah, I like it as well.
It doesn't kind of have those kind of armory elements that they like in the movies as much. It looks like a more kind of classical superhero outfit. He's got a skull on his belt, which I think is great.
Yes, and he always has. Here's the thing, the skull was much more pronounced, or used to be when he first started.
I love that. I love black, yellow, red, like the Kill Bill color palette is like my favorite color palette.
It's really solid. In later on, because again, that was one artist doing it, then the next one did it where they put his trademark lightning bolt on his chest.
Well, now he just looks like Shazam or something.
It's so funny you should say that. That's something they're going to have to deal with in the movie.
Right, because it's the same universe, right?
Shazam is DC, this is Marvel.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. It's an easy mistake to make.
Yeah, someone's gonna send someone a cease and desist at some point.
You would think so. Well, also, again, you mentioned Shazam. Here's the messed up thing. Shazam used to be called Captain Marvel when he was first created.
Right. I did know that. Right. Yep.
But they lost the rights to it, and then it gets even more confusing because in Britain, Captain Marvel Shazam comics were reprinted as Miracle Man.
Oy vey.
Yeah, so that's a whole nightmare there. But yeah, that's Adam Warlock. Some very interesting stuff going on
I
there.
like his eyeliner. That's a lot of eyeliner, Miss Thing.
Yeah,
Like,
he I think it's because he used to wear a mask, and they're like, how do we have the same idea but without him wearing a mask?
mm. It's
Also,
cute. I think that's cute.
it's a cool look. Some people
Yeah.
don't like the new Adam Warlock design. They're more married to the old space Fabio.
I want to wait. Can I give me 1 second? I want to look up
You absolutely can, by all means, sir.
Space Fabio. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I like this too, though.
It's a really solid design because you couldn't mistake Adam Warlock for anyone else in silhouette,
Totally.
and I think
Yeah.
that's the mark of a good costume. Where I know, yep, that's who that is.
Oh, look at this little skull on his brooch. That's great.
See what I mean about it being more
Yeah.
pronounced?
He looks like a character in Barbarella or something.
Oh yeah, he would fit right in there.
Yeah, yeah. Great.
So from there we move on to this is what Jean Grey is rocking these days. She's back from the dead for the 7th time.
Homie, like, stay in that fucking tombstone. Like, you can't keep doing this.
X-Men has been a nightmare the last couple of years with the studios, as I mentioned, dick measuring. They wouldn't bring regular Jean Grey back, but they brought a time-traveling version of her to the present.
For the comics.
Yes.
Well, that's what they've been doing with, like, the Iceman stuff, right?
Yep.
Like, they're doing that with a lot of people.
Yeah, they were part of the same crew. They were part of the same team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about the writing. I'm happy they're writing Iceman as gay now.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because it was always there in the margins. People will argue about that, but gay Iceman was always there in the margins.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've gone back and read, like, I went back and read, like, the old Joss Whedon run of X-Men, which is, like, my favorite run of any comic book ever.
It's really strong.
Oh, I like sobbed buckets by the end of it. But, yeah, I think... I don't know if it's a case of, like, people wanting to see what they want to see now in it, or if it's, like, you can kind of read, like, homosexual undertones in a lot of things. Anyway, we're here to talk about Jean Grey.
Yeah.
I kind of like this. It kind of looks like she belongs in, like, an 80s alien movie or something.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't really fit the rest of the aesthetic of X-Men from what I've seen it look like right now, but I kind of like it.
She's leading her own team now called X-Men Red, and they all dress more like her.
Who else is on the team?
Nightcrawler, Namor, X-23.
Oh.
And a couple new characters they just invented.
Okay. All right.
It's a
Hold
pretty...
on, I'm looking at images. Oh, well, this team doesn't look like a cohesive team at all.
No, because it's just like, okay, who isn't holding up a solo series right now, and who don't we need for the main team?
Right. Well, sure. I don't have a problem with this look at all.
Yeah. And here's the thing, too.
It's a little, like, Blade Runner-y almost.
Yeah, yeah. The other thing about all these X-Men books is because they got the rights back just recently, Disney and Marvel, they're all going to be retooled again anyway in a couple years.
Yeah.
So anything that you love or hate right now, don't worry, because it's going to change.
Yeah, I mean, it's Phoenix or Jean Grey or whatever, like, her outfits are so classic that it's sort of like Superman, where if you change it too much, it's like, what's even the point?
Yeah, always iconic, I would agree. Next up, we have, again, to answer your question, this is Batgirl's new costume.
Oh, I don't like this at all.
This is Sean Gordon Murphy's work right here.
Again, you could tell a straight man did this.
He is another writer artist. He's getting a lot of good press right now for writing a book called Batman White Knight. And no, it's not what you think it is. I thought it was first, but it's not. It's actually like a whole story. Like, what if Joker started actually taking his meds, got sane, and tried to fight, like, the Batman industrial complex in Gotham, and everyone had shades of gray. It's very well done.
That sounds really interesting. I would like to see the character designs of it, because judging from this, they will not be very good.
Here's the thing. Batgirl had a better design, I feel, in the pages of White Knight, because it was more in line with what she was wearing in Batman the Animated Series. In fact, everyone there was wearing Animated Series stuff.
Well, I mean, if you're going for the Bruce Timm look, then, like, who could be mad at that? Because those designs are literal perfection.
It's just so funny to see them change Batgirl, because, again, she had that Babs Tarr costume for a long time. That
Babs Tarr costume, which I see is the next image, is quite possibly the best reinvention of a character I've ever seen in the history of comics.
And it stuck. It's funny, I tried to give that book, The Reading, a chance, but you know what actually turned me off? It was the weirdest thing. It was written by two Canadians, and Burnside, the new thing in the
Brooklyn, yeah.
yeah, the new thing. Okay, it's funny you say Brooklyn. Again, they're Canadians. I say Bathurst and Blur. I'm like, oh my god, they're just writing Bathurst and Blur.
What is that? I'm so ignorant.
It's
I'm
it's
an
it's
ignorant
like the
American.
Brooklyn of Canada.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. No. It to me it felt exactly like Brooklyn. It was there was kind of like a weird because like I'm friends with a bunch of cool queer chicks in Brooklyn, and I was like, I feel like I'm reading a comic book about like my cool chick friends. Like,
it literally was.
yeah, it felt really real because they were just like the first issue is her like hungover because she hooked up with a dude and she like can't remember his name, and I'm like, oh, this is every cool chick I know.
Yeah. It was kind of funny and kind of jarring. It was definitely like, a divide between old and new fans, because if you were reading the Gail Simone run before that, they made it very clear that they were writing Barbara as someone who was much older, but then this one came along, they're like, nah, she's in her 20s. I'm like, well, why was she being written like she was like 35 in the other one?
Yeah, I mean, let's be kind to young millennials in Brooklyn and say us 30-year-olds still act like 23-year-olds.
I mean, I know I do. I'm only 20 years old.
Right.
But yeah, so that's the Batgirl one. Man, a friggin' cosplayer's dream come true was this one. I saw this one at so many cons.
I actually feel like I did not see a lot of people doing the Babs Tarr Batgirl, and it disappointed me. I like Babs Tarr's designs of basically every character she's ever done. I like Babs Tarr's Harley. I like Babs Tarr's Poison Ivy. I just think she's one of the best artists working in the whole business right now.
She's very unique. Again, you could
She's just got like a really good sense of style.
You couldn't mistake her for anyone else, and that's always something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Now, from there, we have The Signal, which is another attempt at doing a Robin, but not doing a Robin in the modern age.
I don't hate it.
I don't either. I kind of like it. Everyone, his name is Duke Thomas, and everyone shits on him because it's just like, oh, he's not my Robin. We know you're trying to make a Robin without making a Robin, just if you give him another name.
What? So The Signal is his name.
The Signal is his name. And here's the thing. He was nameless for so long. The Signal is a new name they've given him just recently. He was just Duke in a costume.
Duke is just like a cool name, though.
Oh, yeah. John Wayne.
I believe he's black, it looks like?
Yes, he is.
That's cool.
Yes, that was their attempt.
What's his, backstory?
Okay, so again, we got a lot of continuity here. Basically, he actually knew Batman when he was a kid, because there was a time when Riddler took over the city, and basically, it was kind of like no man's land, where it's like no one could get in or out, everything was getting overrun, it was like the LA riots. Duke was one of these kids actually trying really hard to solve Riddler's riddle, because his deal was, hey, if you solve my riddle, I'll let you go.
Interesting.
And, Bruce kind of respected him, being like, oh, wow, this kid's actually smart and actually using his brain and everything. Then later his parents got affected by Joker gas during one of the Joker schemes, so they went nuts, essentially making him an orphan.
Got it.
And Bruce felt bad about him. He's like, well, hey man, I adopt kids all the time. Would you like to be adopted? But because he's not like those other kids, he's like, I don't need you, weird rich white man.
You know what? I am very interested in this character. I think he's really cool. He looks like he'd show up. Have you ever heard of these ghetto goth parties in New York?
No, I can't say I have.
There's these very famous parties called ghetto goth, and everyone there wears the best outfits I've ever seen in my life, that are combinations of Hot Topic clothing, athleisure, and weird gay bondage shit. He looks like he would go to ghetto goth, and I would be like, he looks great.
That's what they should name his next series, The Signal in Ghetto Goth.
I think that would be controversial, but I would be down for it.
I wish I could tell you, read here if you want to read more about Duke. He got a mini-series, which is instead of Batman and Robin, it was Batman and the Signal. Mm-hmm. He was a pet project of Scott Snyder, a dude who reinvented Batman a couple years ago, but he just can't seem to find an audience for whatever reason.
Weird. I would think this would stick with people.
Yeah. I should show you Harper Row, is what I should have done, because I think that character would have been up your alley. That was their other attempt at hey, let's have a cool punk lesbian Robin this time.
Oh, I'm Googling her now, and I love it.
Her superhero name was Bluebird, so her costume was very
cool.
Nightwing-esque.
Yeah. I actually think I like Duke's better.
Oh, really? No kidding.
Yeah, this is a little, it again, it looks like a straight man designed it. There's just not a lot of like, well, she's in a corset.
Actually, I don't think a straight man invented her. James Tynion the Fourth, I think he's very openly bisexual, actually.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm taking a closer look. I changed my mind. I like this corset. She's wearing a metal corset. I'm not
She
mad
is.
at it.
Actually,
Yeah,
hey,
okay, I'm into it.
you might like this too. The same guy who invented her also invented, a brand new trans character who is an ally of the Bat family.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, her name is Dr. Victoria November, and it's so wonderfully subtle how they weave in that she's trans because she's trying to help out Clayface, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a monster, but I used to be a man." And her thing's like, "Yeah, I can relate to, wanting to be something and, not feeling right." And I'm like, "Oh, wow, are they saying that she's trans?" And by the end of the run, they admitted that she was. I'm like, "Wow, that was really cool and
That's
subtle
really
and reserved."
cool.
Yeah.
I'm also seeing Harper Row in a cute little baseball outfit right now
Yes.
in the Google search.
Okay.
I like this outfit way better.
Oh man, let me tell you, they did a whole run of digital comics called DC Bombshells, where it's all the female characters as awesome retro pinups.
That sounds like everything I've ever wanted.
You can pick it right up, and the best part is you don't need to know anything about continuity. You just need to know who the characters are. It does their own thing.
Okay, well, I'm googling some of this, and not everything is quite as good as that one. Oh, this Batwoman baseball outfit is everything.
Yes,
though.
because she is the Batwoman. She's on like a League of Their Own Madonna baseball team, and she fights crime at night with her team during World War II with baseball bats.
Okay, I'm living. This is excellent.
It's pretty solid. Oh man, wait till you see their version of Amanda Waller, like Amelia Earhart, World War II ace Amanda Waller.
That's great. This is great. I'm gonna go buy this.
It's good. I think it's all collected now, and again, also written by a queer woman.
Yeah, that I can tell.
Marguerite Bennett, who I was actually her first interview ever.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah, she wrote a Batman annual about mental health, and it's really solid. You would love Marguerite Bennett. She walks with a cane at the cons and swears like a sailor. She's wonderful.
Well, I just feel like I need to be friends with this person.
She is so warm and inviting if you ever see her at a con. Actually, are you, I know the Nobodies went to New York Comic Con last year. Are you going to be there again this year?
Yes, we will. We will.
Oh.
We will certainly be there. We'll be with Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab. So come by and say hi.
I will. I am going to be there, actually. I got my press credentials and everything.
Cool.
I'm also trying to pay for the flight to New York, which is a pain in the ass from Canada to New York.
I can't even imagine.
It's a nightmare. I might ride Amtrak. I rode the bus in 2016.
Oh, God.
It was 15 hours by Buffalo. I was, like, going insane.
I'd imagine also, like, they just, like, stall you at customs for, like, 900 years.
They didn't, actually. They brushed me right on through. Again, I'm white, so I don't know. Right. But they just put me right on through. And I'm like, guys, you don't know how much drugs I could be bringing in.
Were you, though?
But I can neither confirm nor deny what I had.
Got it. Good answer. Correct answer. Good job.
So from there, we actually go over to my favorite hero, but definitely not my favorite design. This is New 52 era Green Arrow.
Oh, well, New 52 just was bad. Like,
yeah, it was. Too many high colors.
Very bad designs of basically everyone.
Jim Lee even admits, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, I don't know Green Arrow's story at all. I don't think I've ever read a Green Arrow book, and I've never watched the show. I've never been particularly interested in the costume. There was a minute. Was it Green Arrow that had those like super graphic kind of mod-looking cover designs?
Maybe.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Anyway, none of these Green Arrows are really doing it for me.
No, he had a really bad run of costumes. He's better now. There's this New 52 one with the goggles, where it's like when you put goggles on a character.
Yeah, it's Becky Lynch syndrome. We don't need goggles.
You're admitting you're out of ideas. Then we had, like, the later New 52 era one. He was actually, like, one of the first to get a costume redesign where they're like, well, we fucked up, let's try again.
This one's a little moodier. I like it a little better.
It was good. The artwork, Jeff Lemire and everyone else there. This was them desperately trying to split the difference between the newly popular TV show and his old costume. So this is this is survivalist Green Arrow is what I call him.
I mean, weirdly, I know that Green Arrow, like Stephen Amell, has been doing like crossovers in the WWE, but he kind of like Green Arrow just looks like a WWE character.
He really, really does, and then
which is not a compliment.
He looks like a creative character.
Yeah, exactly.
And then this last one here was DCU, and this is the most like, what were you thinking? Where he's got like these Native American armbands and moccasins, and it's like, dude, you're not even kind of Native American.
Yeah, he's like an Aryan. This is bad.
His
pants. It looks like his pants do not fit him.
No, and here's the crazy thing. You probably can't see it from this image, but he actually has a little arrow on his chest, which Green Arrow doesn't really have a logo. This one, they're like, he needs a logo.
Weird. Yeah, I see it. That's not good. That's not good at all.
No, it wasn't. It was a fairly well-written run, though, because Benjamin Percy actually remembered, oh yeah, Green Arrow is the liberal voice of the comic book world. Let's actually put some more politics in this.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Well, for a liberal, he's wearing bootcut jeans, so that's weird.
Yeah, he looks better now, I'll say that much. He's repaired a little better. And from Green Arrow, let's look at the fashion disaster that has been his girlfriend, Black Canary, for a couple years. This was her new 52 look as well.
Oh, this is awful.
Yeah, that whole Birds of Prey series was like, what are you doing?
This is just terrible. And like Black Canary is another one that like has like a really graphic, wonderful kind of minimal design that you don't need to fuck with, and then I don't know. This is no good.
Stop drilling, you hit oil.
Yeah. Not a fan of this at all.
They really reinvented her in DCU, which is the next one. They made her a rock star and gave her a trench coat.
Yeah, love this. This is everything.
Again, this was her getting back to herself.
Yeah, exactly. It's much truer to the actual character. The bra, the O-ring in the middle of the bra gives it like a little bit of an edgy BDSM thing. The leather jacket with the cape. Is it a duster? What is it?
That might be the curtain in the background.
Well, whatever. It looks great.
It looked much better. Actually, I think that leather jacket on the back, she actually had a black canary bird on the back, which she never had before.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it was an interesting little addition.
Literal, but right.
And from there, we move on to the...
She's in a heel.
Yes, she is. She absolutely is.
I like a girl in a heel.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to hurt you when she kicks you in the face with it.
Yeah.
From there, we move on to the many radical looks of Supergirl, which is yet another character where it's like, we don't know what to do with her. Let's reinvent her costume every couple issues.
Yeah, ooh. Well, she has that show. She has a TV show too, right? So they have to like negotiate kind of the comic versus TV show version.
Yeah, this was even before this. This was when they're like, okay, we're out of ideas. Let's make Kara a Red Lantern.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, what if she bled from the eyes and was super angry all the time?
This is awful. And it doesn't like it almost like doesn't rework any of the elements of her character, like her original design into it. Like it's completely unrecognizable as Supergirl. So like, what is the point of it? I guess
it's very on brand with the Red Lanterns, very angry and in your face.
Yeah, but like it's like a onesie with sleeves and a cape, and then thigh-high boots. Like it's just fashionably, it's wrong. Doesn't go with the character. Like it just doesn't make any sense.
And this is why I have you on the show. And from there, we actually go to what she's wearing now. So they had a whole big storyline where they destroyed the bottle city of Kandor, basically where her family's from. And she's decided, I'm going to be mean and gritty now, and I'm going to dump my TV show-looking costume.
I kind of like these a lot.
Yeah, I don't mind them either. I actually think they're very striking. And again, look so much different than Superman, but very much of the Superman family.
Yeah, the black one on the left.
Yeah.
I love this. I just love this. The one on the right, it's kind of like, it looks like a little good girl gone bad. Like it's still a little innocent looking because there's no kind of darkness to it.
It's what they're going for. And hey, again, you say a straight person did this. A gay man is definitely writing this series.
Oh, I could tell from the design on the left. Yeah, no, I love this Supergirl with a giant oversized battle axe, though. That's great.
Yeah, she took that from the new villain Brian Michael Bendis invented, Rogol Zar, and she's like, her whole series is like, oh, I need to find out what really happened to Krypton because we're changing the origin again, and that's why she's beating up the Green Lanterns, because it's like, why didn't you help when Krypton exploded? Aren't you supposed to be space cops?
Oh, that's kind of a good storyline.
They've done it in Elseworlds, but this is the first time they're actually making it canon.
Cool, interesting. I'm interested in that. I've read a few Supergirl comics, and I'm not very attached to that character. She never really stuck with me for any reason.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like with other characters, you can kind of come up with like, okay, they are like sassy or like brave, and like I don't know what her kind of essential personality is.
And that's not just you either. The problem with Supergirl is kind of true with Wonder Woman and Batgirl as well, and that is, unlike the male characters, a lot of their history and a lot of their personality is not consistent.
Right. I mean, Batgirl's like, at least she's plucky, right?
Yeah,
she's kind of like, she's determined, and
she's super smart and tech focused.
So yeah, I just don't know anything about Supergirl's personality.
And it keeps changing to match the TV show or whatever they're doing at the moment. Yeah. But again, maybe this will be the one that sticks for a little bit at least.
Yeah.
All right, then we have a repeat of the Red Lantern costume. We can move past that. Here we have Miles Morales Spider-Man and the Amazing Spider-Gwen.
Okay, wait. So left is Miles Morales?
The right. He's the one in black.
Right is Miles Morales, and the Amazing Spider-Boy is who?
Spider-Gwen.
Oh, Spider-Gwen.
Yeah.
I like both of these designs a lot.
They're really solid. The thing about Spider-Gwen, she was just supposed to be a variant cover, but she was so popular as a variant cover, they gave her a whole series, and now she's going to be in movies.
Is the variant cover, was this the outfit in it?
Yes, it was. It was a whole, like, Gwen Stacy themed variant to celebrate, like, her golden centennial or whatever.
Yeah. I don't understand. That's like, again, I don't follow Spider-Man, but I don't know that character, but I think this is just like a very good graphic design.
Basically what her deal is Gwen Stacy was Peter Parker's first girlfriend who died, but this is her from an alternate universe where she not only lived, but she got bit by the spider instead of Peter.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And
sure,
she's in
whatever.
a punk band. She's the drummer in a punk band.
Whatever. Great. Fine. Sounds good.
Called the Mary Janes, actually.
Oh, cute. That's cute.
Very. And the whole band is made up with, like, women who in the other universe were dating Peter Parker at one point.
Oh, my God. That's, like, such, like, a male fantasy, though. Like, you know what I mean? Of, like, oh, all of my girlfriends are together in a band now. Like, dude, your exes don't care that much about you.
But Peter is dead in that world, interestingly.
Oh, well, that's complicated. Still, that sounds like a male fantasy to me.
They obviously the name Spider-Gwen they had to change because she's become so popular now. They want to put her in more movies and TV shows, and they're like, well, Spider-Gwen, that makes sense for comic readers, but not for everyone else. So just recently, as of this month, she's gonna go by Ghost Spider now.
Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah, I like it too. Flows off the tongue.
Yeah, good branding.
Mm-hmm. And Miles, again, just, black and red, it works.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so good on him. Is that okay? So from there, I think we're nearing the end of this now. We have some Wonder Woman costumes for you. This is Wonder Woman when she was the god of war, ever so briefly. Yeah, I know, right?
If you got rid of the star elements, it's not bad.
Do you like her stabby wrist gauntlets?
Oh, I didn't even notice those.
Yeah, look at them stabby wrist gauntlets.
Wow. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't think I do.
This was another blissfully short era where they're like, what the fuck were we thinking?
Wonder Woman is, like, really hard to design, though. She seems like one of the, like, much like Superman, where, like, the classic outfit is so classic, like, there are so few interesting takes on it that, like, are good.
Agreed. Again, and she's basically just back in her regular costume now, as is everybody.
Well, that's fine.
They experimented and just came back to what always worked, and I think with that, I think that's all the looks and then some. We even managed to tackle some extra ones, which I'm really happy about.
You didn't even give me one Harley Quinn, and she's my favorite character.
Oh, well, we can happily talk about Harley Quinn. What do you think of the new Suicide Squad inspired look?
What is she wearing right now? Who's the artist on it right now?
Oh, there's a bunch of different ones because Harley has exploded in popularity after Suicide Squad. She has like 4 books going on now.
I don't know what she's wearing in any of them. I mean, I actually, that movie was garbage, but I think that look, the Daddy's Little Monster look, I think that's such an amazing redesign of that
Yeah,
character.
your local Hot Topic franchise owner sure as hell loved it.
Yeah,
I think they sold more of those shirts than they did tickets.
yeah. I mean, I certainly have been meaning to buy one, but it's overpriced and they haven't gone on sale.
Yeah. Plus, if I go to Hot Topic, I'm buying Bullet Club merch.
Oh no, I won't touch that. Not in this political climate, at least.
Yeah, I know, right? I agree. It's like, but it was cool before. No. I don't like guns. I just like this cool wrestling thing.
Right, right. Yeah, I know that. I mean, the Bruce Timm Harley is obviously the best Harley. The Babs Tarr Harley is pretty excellent. The like discount Halloween video game Harleys are very, very bad.
Yeah.
Even the nurse redesign, which like I'm partial to a fetish nurse character in basically any medium, but
and it worked in Arkham because she was just throwing a costume together with what she had, but the fact that it spilled over in the comics, I'm like, but she has access to other stuff though, guys.
Right. She's been in some bad outfits. Like the that storyline where she was going after Joker's face.
Oh, yeah. Death of the Family, yeah.
Yeah, that was awful.
That was an ugly story in general. That Suicide Squad tie-in they did is maybe one of the worst comics I've ever covered in my 5 years of comic YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about Harley is that the original costume had, like, it was sexy, but she was in a bodysuit.
Absolutely.
And, like, turning her, like, you know, I love a coochie cutters and a crop top look, but, like, there's just something wrong with it. I mean, the DC design one, movie design one works, but
they've given her a little more personality back. Her hair is blonde on top now, like Margot Robbie, and she has a jacket. But because the Harley book is a comedy, they were able to make a joke of it, where it's like, "Hey Harley, here's a new jacket we gave you as a gift," and she's like, "Ooh, how cinematic!"
Yeah, I mean, she's just one of my favorite characters. I just love her.
Same. And I wonder if they ever will go back to the OG design, or if they just have too much wrapped up in Margot Robbie in the movies now to do so.
Well, there was like a, maybe it was fake, but there was a screenshot of her in the original outfit floating around the internet for a while.
I think that might have been a backup of something. I think Paul Dini came back and wrote some backups that were like the adventures of Harley in Gotham, and that was before she changed her costume.
No. There was a shot of Margot Robbie, the actress, in
right.
the classic outfit.
Oh yeah, there was a blink and you miss it thing where they like try and recreate that classic cover where it's like almost a little Janet Jackson, where the Joker's holding her from behind.
Yes, I found the screenshot. Yeah, and they just put her in the classic outfit. And you know what? They should do like a whole scene in that. She looked amazing in it.
I would like that. I think they're a little afraid to, but I would like it. But yeah, so I mean that's basically everything we got here for the show. Any parting words? Anything? Oh, you know what? Tell people where they can find you online, and tell them where they can find the Nobody so they can.
Oh yeah, I am running the Nobody's Instagram account at the Nobody's NYC, so that will have all of the Nobody's like live events. You can find our YouTube channel just by like searching for Nobody's Watching Wrestling. You can find us on Facebook at the Nobodies. Yeah, we have a bunch of live events coming up. Our big thing is if you're in New York City, it's not related to comics or wrestling at all, but we put on a super inclusive drag pageant called Mixed Nobody every summer. It's like our favorite event we put on all year. Talk about insane costumes. It's like some of the craziest fashions I've ever seen in my life have been worn at this pageant that we throw. So if you're in New York, it will be at Brooklyn Bazaar every Thursday in August, starting on the 9th.
Nice.
And yeah, check out our wrestling show. Thank you for having me on. This was super fun.
It was a pleasure.
Have way more way too much work that I should be doing, and this was a great distraction from it.
That's all right. I love distracting people. Plus, hey, I needed to feel that I got some work done today because the new Orange is the New Black season dropped, and if it wasn't for this, I would just be sitting on my couch watching all of it.
Ironically, I actually have to watch that show for work. So I'll be recapping it for Oxygen.com.
Nice.
So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, because you have like several like writing gigs all over the place too, on top of YouTube.
Totally, yeah. I write for Oxygen, Nylon, Into. I had an article in Rolling Stone recently. So yeah.
you're a real writer, unlike me who just talks into a microphone and pretends I write.
Yeah, I thought I would be a writer. I don't know how I became this kind of cartoon personality of myself.
That's fine. I thought I'd be a movie critic when I showed up online. Then I just had a
Yeah.
scathing review of that Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. Flash forward, and here I am.
The internet takes us all to strange places we didn't think we wanted to go to.
Boy, does it again. I oftentimes think of the road not traveled and like, oh God, what if I was one of those annoying movie critic guys
Yeah.
with my red backdrop and my misleading thumbnails.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I guess we can start winding the show down. Again, I want to thank DJ Accident Report for joining me. You were a wonderful guest, sir. I hope everyone in the in the comment section enjoyed you. I hope all the fans had a fun time. As always, if you are a patron to the show, you can listen to this first before anyone else. As soon as we're done, in fact, we're recording this on a Friday, so you'll actually get a chance to get to listen to it early for as little as $1 a month. For everyone else, you can find the show over on SoundCloud a day after it premieres on YouTube, which is usually a Thursday. And oh hey, all you Apple people who have been after me forever to try and get the show up on iTunes, we're officially on iTunes. There's a link down in the description. You can find it there now. So go do that. And yeah, I suppose with that, we'll start winding the show down. Any parting words from our guest?
Oh God, I'm on the spot. No, that's it. I'm out. Bye.
There you go. Drive fast, take chances, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back again next week. Bye-bye.